have Microsoft Visual Studio open here. I've created a solution for my application called OpenCV number 1. I have some source files, the main file, and I have also, importantly, I have in the property manager, I've created specific things for OpenCV. In particular, I have here, I would do this, add an existing or add a new. Initially I would have added a new. Here, in this case, I would have added an existing one that I'd previously created and saved in a known location and brought it back in again for whichever project I wanted to. So the first time I did this one here, OpenCV, project D for the debug, and we have another properties page here and OpenCV project without the D, so this is for the release version. This one here, if you look at the contents, the things that you're changing is you're including OpenCV in the Visual C++ directory, so you can see OpenCV 2.2 include, and also in the code generator, sorry, in the which one is it? Command, output files, language code generation, preprocessor optimization in general. That is the linker, excuse me. The input file here, you're also including the for the debug version, the OpenCV libraries with the D associated with them. So I just included them all. In the general, nothing. In the system, command line didn't change. You can see where the stuff that I've included is there now by default. The advanced, so the linker, the VC C++, and the include directory. So stuff I've changed is the VC++. I've added the include and the library, and also then for the linker, I've told the linker that the input, the libraries that should look for the DLs should include the ones that libraries I should say include this one. Okay, so that's the properties, property manager tab here. And if you go back to the solution explorer, my main file here is creating a matrix or an image object, and I'm using in the default directory I'm using plain.jpg. If you look at the folders for that, find the right one, OpenCV, oops, release. If you look here, you can see this is the project, and in the project I've dropped in the root directory, so to speak, of the project, I've dropped this image plain.jpg. This is red here, and if there's a problem, I haven't done anything, but if there is a problem I can ask image data. I'm going to create two windows, and the windows are named window 1 and window 2. I'm going to copy the image of the plane. I'm going to copy it into another one called copy image. So another object called copy image, which has a copy of the thing. And then I'm going to apply, I did it the wrong way around. I'm going to apply to the image a median blur. Now, this is images I'm working with, so I want to include I suppose the functionality from the computer vision library to do this for me. So how did I know where to find this? This is a problem at the start. So the median blur is in the CV library. So I suppose you just have to do a bit of rooting around and see, well, what do you want to do when you have to become aware of the general scheme of things within OpenCV. So if you look over here and you see the OpenCV from with regard to the documentation, there's things you can do, histograms, sorry, these are all image processing. So I just want the general documentation. I want the core functionality or image processing or feature detection, or I want object detection, or I want to use the GUI stuff for video analysis. But I know well, I should guess, I suppose, that I want to use image processing. And you can see here image processing. If you looked up here as well, you could see it if it showed it, if you could see it. So you have image processing. So what I'm doing then is I'm going to have to include in the OpenCV the image processing header file to allow me to call these methods like median blur. So if I scroll down here in the library and I look at the median blur, I can see the API and I know what I have to do with it. I have to supply a matrix or an object, and it's not going to modify it. And I'm also going to have to supply another matrix for the destination. Now I copied it simply so that I wouldn't have to change the size of it. I know it's going to be exact same size as the original. That's why I copied it. So the one here isn't constant, so that's going to be modified, and I'm going to supply an integer value that will cause the blur to happen. And the parameters it tells you here about the source, the destination, the size. Okay, the function smooths the image using the median filter, using an aperture of k size by k size each channel, and so on. So this median blur is part of the CV library, so I'm using the namespace CV, and it's a median blur, and I'm going to apply it to this image, and I'm going to use that as that's the source, and then the one it's going to go to is that one there. So this one is the one that's going to be deformed, I suppose. And copy image. So we take this one, we deform it, and save it in that one. And I'm using a blur, an extreme blur of 91. I'll use a less extreme one of 21. And you can see I'm going to pop two windows then. In one window I'm going to show the original image, and in the other image I'm going to show the copy that's been deformed. So if I run that, it pops up an image that's blurred, and it pops up the original image. So you can see 11 here distorts it using the median blur, and that's about it. But the interesting things are trying to find out which include file you should have, and I suppose I was working off this here. I was trying to replicate this same functionality as this was previously. So previously we had pointers here. Also we have no namespace, so it's looks like C, and I'm trying to push that into C++. And